Mom Abundant Life with best-selling author and coach Kathy Williams, a show to help you tap into the support of the universe and access the abundance that's available in every area of your life. Listen in for conversations and tools to create more ease, joy, and possibility with family, relationships, business, and living. Kathy's joyful perspective will help you tap into your own wisdom and create a life of presence and abundance your way. Listen live on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, or anytime on iTunes or at IOM FM.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Williams, and I'm so excited for today's topic because it's something that impacts every single area of our life. There is no area that relationships don't impact. So if our relationships are flowing more smoothly, that usually lubricates the wheels for the other areas of our life to flow more smoothly as well. We will talk about love relationships. We'll also, what we talk about will impact other relationships too. Your mother, your children, your friend, things like that. So, keep listening for tools for relationship magic. And before we dive in, I always love to hear from you. In fact, I get a lot of the best ideas from listeners, and that keeps things really relevant to you, what's going on in your life. It also keeps me from having to think of all the topics. Of course, there are many different directions we can go. And as I was listening to the intro, I was really thinking about how one of the words I used, or phrases I used, just is so important to me. And that is helping you tap into your own wisdom. Because so often we are taught that the person outside of us, maybe the doctor or the older person, the parent, the whatever it is, the teacher, knows more than we do. And that is not true. You're the expert on your own life. So keep the things and tips that resonate and, put the other ones aside. And maybe be willing also to throw out some of the tenets or ideas or assumptions that you've been living from in order to try some new things on. A couple of years ago, I created a book called Relationships Done Easy. And what's really funny is I would take this book, I took it to a place like a Unity church one day, and it wasn't Unity, but something like it. And I took it and was talking about it and doing a workshop around the book. And some people were like, relationships easy? I don't think so. And I was like, well, that's actually what's going to show up for you. If you don't think you can have ease, a sense of flow, and fun with the relationships, you won't. If you think relationships have to be hard, guess what? You're going to create hard drama, challenges, whatever. And that's not to say that there won't be things that naturally come up, right? Like, even if you have a relationship of flow with a partner, that's not going to say you're going to agree on everything. You just won't. You're two different people. But that is part of the fun of relationships too. They stretch us. They help us see different points of view. They help expand our worldview and hopefully expand us and our lives in the process. And if your relationships aren't doing that, it might be a good time to look at those. So before we go too deeply, I said, please contact me, and then I didn't say where. Like, okay, how do you contact you if you don't say where or how? The best place to reach me is at meetkathywilliams.com. Kathy with a K, Williams with an S. Most of the places you're listening to, you can find that in the description. And Also, there is a free money rain exercise and a create your life exercise, which is super fun for starting your day. I get a lot of feedback about that. So let's dive into this can of worms, right? Relationships can be a big one for people, especially because, when things aren't going so well, they kind of rub us and bring up past hurts, past frictions. Our relationships are very often colored by our past. The way we saw our mother respond to our father, the way we've responded or someone else has responded to us in a past situation. So we're usually not going into them with clear glasses. Sometimes I use the analogy like you have an experience and then it makes the glasses colored, purple, or maybe it's like leaving a spot or cutting off your awareness, and therefore it's like a bird pooped on your glasses and you can no longer see out of that part of the lens, and now you're trying to navigate through the world without being able to see really clearly. So we're going to take a look at that and some strategies around it. And to me, what's really key in relationships is communication. And I know that's not always the easiest thing, right? Especially if something is up for us emotionally or we're in a negative energy around something. Sometimes communicating can feel like a real challenge. So I'll give a sweet little communication strategy and then also talk you through a tool I really love to help us recognize that we have choice and we can shift our energy and emotion really quickly. So the first thing I'd like to read to you is a quote from Dr. Nathaniel Branden. And while I don't agree with his whole philosophy, I love this. And I'm sure you can find it somewhere on the internet. Do you create a context in which your partner can feel free to share feelings, thoughts, fantasies, hurts, and complaints without the fear that you will condemn, attack, or withdraw? Okay. Wow. So do you create that kind of environment? And I can hear a lot of people saying, well, they don't create that environment for me. Okay, wait. First off, do you create that environment, that kind of context? And if not, what's in the way? Like, how do you get triggered? Is it getting defensive? Like they say something and then you just immediately retaliate? Is it that it feels too big, like, oh gosh, or that they seem to blame and so we just want to defend? What is it that prevents creating that kind of openness to receive whatever they have to say without judgment? So to provide a space like that, it requires a sense of non-judgment, right? In order for me to create a space in which you feel free to share your feelings, your thoughts, your fantasies, your hurts, your complaints, without me condemning, attacking, or withdrawing, or without you even fearing that I'll do that, right? Requires that I be an open space of non-judgment. And that I provide a space of respect. Like, yeah, I see that's how you're showing up. I see that you fear. I see that, I'm willing to receive however you come and express. Right? And I'm not saying put up with abuse. That is not what I'm saying. But looking at our own willingness to be the space of non-judgment. And the more you dance in the space of non-judgment, the easier it is. So some of the tools to help us get into non-judgment, right? And again, judgment is so much colored by our past. Oh no, when my past boyfriend said the very same thing this guy is saying, he then, left me. Oh no, when my dad said the very same thing, I felt abandoned and distant, so I'm going to project that onto this situation. No. All right? Now, in a moment, I'll give you a tool for, when you identify, that's what's really going on. But for now, one of the most useful tools is to say, like, interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. I feel the need to defend. What is that? Interesting point of view. And if we get really curious, a lot of the time it comes from the desire, first off, to be right? But deeper than that is usually a fear. Like, what if I'm not right? What if I'm wrong and I'm so wrong and I'm bad and I'm unworthy of love? And I'll tell you what, that may not even be an energy that's truly yours. You're just hooked into it, okay? Because most people are walking around with the energy of, I'm afraid I won't be loved on some level, which is why people do all the proving. All right, I have to prove to you I'm smart. I have to prove to you I'm good enough, that I love you, whatever it is. It comes from a sense of, I'm not good enough deep down, and if someone saw that, they would reject me. Okay, so here, what are the steps then you can use to create a context in which your partner does feel free to express anything? Okay, and that's not something I can really answer for you. Right? It's, what are the steps I can take? When do they not feel that way? Oh, when I retreat. Oh, when I retaliate. When I turn away. Whatever it is. And then by seeing what you do that creates an, quote, unsafe environment, it also can help you unearth what you can do to create a safe environment. How do I show that I respect them? I mentioned in the book Relationships Done Easy some of the things women do to kind of emasculate men, like roll their eyes. Or I tell the story of being at a party and this guy was so happy. He was like, oh, look what I looked up for you. You asked for this. And he had looked it up on his phone. And she said, yeah, but you didn't do it right. And I was at a party. This was in front of 3 or 4 other people. Like, that kind of action doesn't foster a sense of respect. So what are the actions you can take? What are the words you can use that help you embody respect for your partner? And one of the things that really can lead to a sense of respect, a sense of non-judgment, a space of non-judgment, is gratitude. Because gratitude and the energy of judgment don't coexist simultaneously. You either have one or you have the other. Okay? So if you think about one of your relationships right now, could even be your relationship with you, and start to have gratitude for that person. Being thankful for their presence in your life. No matter how challenging it is, sometimes it can be challenging, but bring a sense of appreciation for them, their presence, what they've evoked in you. Yeah. And notice that judgment and gratitude don't coexist. in the same moment. Right? So gratitude is like the door to creating the space of non-judgment, the space in which you're not defensive, the space in which you have a real sense of respect for the other. And similarly with you, gratitude for you cultivates a sense of respect for yourself, a sense of non-judgment for you. And a really simple yet potent exercise you can do is, whether you do this exercise on yourself or on your loved one, write a page of things you love about them. So just list them out. I love that he gives such great hugs. I love that he's a great cook. I love that he's, for my husband, he's so good with the kids. He really has a talent for communicating with them. Or if it's about you, oh, I love that I'm so artistic. I love that whatever it is, and make a list. I remember years ago a coach had me write 100 things I like about myself to kind of reformat or reprogram all of those negative messages that I tapped into again and again and again for years, right? All that negativity. So, just as we go to the break, get a sense of, what can I be? What can I add? What actions can I take to foster a sense of non-judgment, a space of non-judgment and respect? Gratitude may be one of those. And we'll be right back in just a moment. Thanks for listening to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, IOM.FM.